My name's Tucker Briscoe. I'm Vice President of Operations with a Texas Moving Company. We have 5 locations all across the great state of Texas. We do about $6 million a year in revenue.
My name is Mario Marquez and I'm with Texas Moving Company, and I've been with the company now going on a little bit over 3 years. We focus mainly on all moves, anything from local to interstate and even international moves as well.
So in the process of searching, and there are many different softwares out there for you to choose from, but in actually looking at all those different softwares and all the different features and how those features mesh together, Movegistics we felt like was the most complete software package out there on the market, and in the little over a year that we've used it, it's proven that it is.
I think there was a plethora of features and benefits that were really enticing. I think initially looking at it, it seemed like it almost did too much for us, but we've used quite a bit of the features and try to leverage as much as possible. But a lot of why we did it was, again, to get to a paperless system ultimately.
So one of the largest problems with our legacy software was the fact that we are multi-location. Needing to jump from one location to the other and bring all those together to be searchable from one location. You know, when we're siloing functions, we want to have one person that can search all data sets in multiple ways across the different locations, and Movegistics has been great at allowing us to do that. Prior to Movegistics, we would do our rating and create a software in that legacy software and bill the customer, and then go out to QuickBooks and completely recreate that invoice. With the addition of Movegistics, we're able to just create that invoice within Movegistics, successfully send that to that customer, and then actually receive payment from that customer and never have to leave that same screen. So it's been a huge time saver across all of our locations.
You know, having a streamlined process going from even starting a survey to estimate, to booking, and to ultimately dispatching was a really manual process and all very much paper driven. A lot of the issues that we've been able to solve have been a more streamlined process and getting paper out of the moving business.
So we've been using Movegistics for a little over a year now. It's been a game changer for our business. The software that we were using prior to Movegistics was a good software, but a little archaic. This really brought us into the next phase of our business, which is expansion, and has allowed us to really pursue that expansion. So since we've switched to Movegistics, just the soft cost savings of having everything at your fingertips, no matter where you are, and in just on one screen. If you have a question or want to do a deeper dive into the job costing, job profitability, where are we making our most money? What job should we be doing? What job should we not be doing? Movegistics has given us that ability, and again, that's been a huge game changer for us and directly affected our bottom line.
I would say that process from start to finish, meaning from customer contact to booking a move. Prior, we were using a legacy system that was extremely archaic. Hadn't changed a lot since the late 1990s. And to be able to go on a survey it all from an iPad, being able to open up Movegistics as soon as you're back in the car, complete the estimate, send it to the customer, gain the signature, go in, book the move, and then add your notes in a dispatch column. That entire process collapsed down to less than an hour, whereas before I was probably spending anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours doing paper cube sheets and cubing out the cube sheet, going back and doing that entire process. So from first customer contact to booking has been collapsed to a really streamlined process once more. A major piece is probably the Mover Survey app, perfecting that piece, having the customability of going through and changing out particular survey items and making sure that we have an idea of what's inside our scope of work, and then ultimately translating that all down to an individual estimate, and then having a streamlined process after that has been pretty exciting for sure.
So Movegistics has allowed us to track both our employees and our equipment in real time to know what we have available to us, not only next week or tomorrow, but this afternoon. We can look at the schedule if we have things change as far as jobs, the length of the job, or have employees that need to take off early, or have some kind of a mixed schedule. We have the availability within Movegistics to set those schedules up and better schedule our employees. It's also helped us to cut down on overtime. At some locations, we've expanded our employee base to include personnel that may be going to school or have other commitments. They may not necessarily be able to work a 40-hour week, but we're able to juggle that within the framework of Movegistics very easily, and it's cut down our overtime at those certain locations immensely.
I think the big piece that I touched on prior was the fact that from customer contact to booking has collapsed down immensely, but really what we're not thinking about there is the amount of time, or the soft cost of labor of just surely driving around and having all this organized in one neat place. Being able to go back and make sure that we capture all revenue. So when we submit the inventory, so the customer agrees on exactly what's going to be loaded or if anything needs to be added, having those checks and balances is huge. Leaves a lot of money on the table for sure if we're not accounting for items that are going to be loaded and ultimately wait for moves that need to be accounted for. So our time has been super enjoyable with the software, and that process has been super easy to jump on the bandwagon and put it to work.
The one thing I like about Movegistics the most is just the user-friendly interaction, the fact that I can pick up any device that is Wi-Fi enabled, and I can see what's going on. If I have a question, whether it be an address for a customer that we serviced a year ago, or where the guys and gals are at right now, anything that has a Wi-Fi connection, I can pick it up and I can see that. That's been a game changer for me and for our organization. So working with Movegistics support, as you can imagine, any software is going to have things come up, and that's been another wonderful thing about Movegistics is the speed in which they jump on any kind of issue, large or small, and take care of that swiftly.
I would say when you're looking at Movegistics, I think you're going to find that they are incredibly responsive. It was a big piece of our idea of how to choose our next CRM. Again, coming from a legacy system that we used for maybe about 15 to 20 years, it was a big decision. But I think the major thing is once you are a customer, what their response is, and that's been class A, top notch. So never sent an email where I don't get a response back, if not from a Darsh's team, from a Darsh personally, saying we're either going to fix it or give us this amount of time to fix it. And that's huge. It's never about just signing someone up, but really the meats of what you see in a product is how they treat you afterwards as a client. So that's been a wonderful experience.
If you're considering Movegistics, take a look at what your company is going to be using that software for. What are the key things that you need? There's a ton of softwares out there, but if you're looking at one single software that really does it all, I'd highly recommend Movegistics.